I'm going to show you a couple of high IQ hard surface modeling and topology tips. Today we're going to be making this 45-pound plate with clean sub-D topology. We're doing this because my buddy Ishak is going to be sculpting Ziz for August 5th, and this plate right here is going to be the base for the sculpture. So first things first, we're going to go to top view. We're going to go Shift A image reference. I'm going to pull up a picture from Google. I got this thing right here from Google Images. I'm just going to make sure it's centered, and then we're also going to rotate it by about 45 degrees just so these lines here align with the axes. And now of course we're going to have to start with a circle. Now the big question is, how many vertices do we want that circle to have? I want my inner circle to have 64 vertices because 64 is nice and smooth, and it also gives me these two edges over here at the top, or rather these four edges over here at the top, which I'll be able to use to create this bar right here. So we're going to take this circle, we're going to extrude it up on the z-axis. Give me a couple of loop cuts. I want 3 loop cuts so I can turn this thing into little squares. And now we're going to use some of the geometry from the front over here to create the bar. So here's what we're going to do. I'm first going to add a loop cut over here, which is going to be roughly aligned with the side of this line in the reference image. I need the exact same thing on the other side, so I'm going to select all these faces over here and delete them. Place the cursor in the middle, take the geometry from this side, scale it to -1 on the X so we can merge it over here on this side. And now give me these two edges from the top. We're going to tear them with V, slide them down a little bit. Get rid of these two edges over here at the top, which were created by the loop cut, merged by distance. And then scale these two vertices inwards towards the 3D cursor in the middle. Fill this with 2 new quads. So we're going to use these faces right here to extrude out this bar. But of course, we still have to make this a little bit wider. So let's delete the faces at the bottom. Let's also delete these faces over here at the end so we can slide this apart a little bit further. So let's slide that by 0.5, and also over here on this side. Lift this here up a little bit on the Z, and I think the best thing for now is to take this geometry and slide it inwards so that if need be, we can also slide this a little bit further out. And now we should have roughly the right width. So now we can extrude this up on the Y-axis. Now you'll notice up here, this edge gets a little bit more narrow, which makes it very difficult because we can't just take a circle and then extrude it outwards and then use these faces over here, because these faces get wider as you go to the side and they're supposed to get more narrow. So that makes things a lot more difficult. So instead, we're going to go over here to the end. We're going to place the cursor right here, scale this thing down a little bit. How much? Let's look at the reference image. We're going to scale it down about this big, and then also push it inwards so it goes way past this edge over here. And then we need to add another circle for the outer edge here. So we're going to go Shift A circle, and we want this circle to have 256 vertices because that's 4 times the number of vertices we have here. And it also gives us the right amount of edges to connect this piece over here to the top. So we're going to scale this outer circle down a little bit, then extrude it and scale it up. Then we're going to lift it up to about this height. Well, we want to lift it to a height where when you look at it from top view, this edge over here matches the end of the line in the reference image. So that's going to be just a little bit higher. Something like this should do it. Now, of course, we want another loop cut here and then 3 more loop cuts right here. And we're going to have to connect this piece to this outer segment. So we're going to take this object, peel it separate by selection. Same thing with this outer ring that we just created. And then take the outer ring, extrude it and scale it up with Shift Z. Take this face segment from the bottom. You're going to extrude that downwards and fill this here at the bottom with a face. Fill this with a face too. And we can also fill in a face back here because we need to make sure this object is full so that when we go ahead and add our Boolean modifier and target this outer object, it's just going to cut it exactly the right way. So we apply that Boolean modifier, get rid of the faces at the end, get rid of the faces in the back here, and also the face at the bottom. And now we can join these back together into the same object where we can now do a little bit of Boolean cleanup. So first of all, we're going to delete all this from down here at the bottom and then get rid of the extra vertices like these little ones that we have over here on the ends. Maybe we should delete these faces from the inside like this. And now, well, we're going to use our 3D cursor to connect these vertices at the top. So select this vertex, snap the cursor there, select this one, snap it to the 3D cursor, get rid of these vertices over here on the other side by dissolving them. And then, well, we can fill this with a face, fill this with another one, 3 more quads over here on the other side. Well, we still got some extra vertices here. Anyway, we fill this with a couple of quads like this, and that's nice and clean. And now is a good time to merge all this back together into the same object. Merge vertices by distance. You might want to slide this vertex up a little bit more to change the shape here. And if you do that, you got to place the 3D cursor right there, take this vertex from the back and scale it to 0 on the Z-axis. Or, well, maybe not to 0 because then it goes down. We just want to lift it up a little bit so that this face here is not twisted. And so far, so good. When we add the subdivision surface modifier, everything behaves as expected. So that's pretty good. And now here comes the tricky part, because now we have to figure out a way to fill in the inner area. And of course, we can't just fill these edges on the side because we have way more edges on the outside than we do on the inside. So first of all, let's take this whole object. We're going to rotate it by 45 degrees. Go to top view and we're going to select the entire quarter where we have this bar right now. So select it with B, then press Ctrl I to invert selection, delete all the vertices which you have selected now. And let's go ahead and add an array modifier. We want to set the offset to 0, and we're going to set the rotation to 90, the count to 4. And now anything we do on one quarter will automatically be copied to the other quarters as well. So now is probably a good time to apply the array modifier, merge your vertices by distance this in edit mode. And let's set the rotation of this object back to 0 degrees so that these are once again aligned with the axes. And now here we go, we have to do a little bit of counting. You want to enable statistics up here. If we select the edges we have on the inside here, we got 14 edges. And over here on the outside, if we select these, we got 62 edges. Now, if we deselect one edge at the beginning and another edge at the end, then we have 60 edges. And if we do the same thing on the inside, then we have 12 edges, which is a little bit more manageable because 60 is divisible by 12. That gives you 5. So we can just fill this here with a face, and same thing on the other side. And now that's going to be a little bit easier to fill. Now, we have to take this geometry and we're going to extrude it outwards from the 3D cursor in the middle. And we have to turn these 12 edges into 60. So in my humble opinion, the best way to do that is the following. We're going to make a triangle here and on the other side as well, just temporarily. Select these two faces on both sides. You're going to press I to inset and B to disable boundary. At this point, you might want to place the cursor back in the middle and scale all this down towards the 3D cursor just to bring it a little bit closer. And we can get rid of these triangles now. So we're going to select them both and delete them. And give me one loop cut here and on the other side. So we're going to select those two loop cuts and slide them inwards like this. You want to slide them to where you can connect them with this vertex that we just created down here. I don't know if we want to connect that just yet. We're going to do that later. But now we're going to take this edge segment, extrude it outwards again, and we need to turn these 16 edges into 30. So first of all, you're going to take these 4 edges from both sides like this, W loop tool space, maybe just to keep things orderly. We're going to do the same thing on this next edge segment on the inside. And now let me show you the high IQ part. If you take any two faces like this and you inset them, you turn those 2 edges from the base of those faces into 4 edges. So if we take all these faces in pairs of 2 and we inset them, we're just going to double the amount of edges we have here. So that's going to give us 32, which is no good. But if we inset these faces on a side in a way that we don't get an extra face over here on the end, like we would if we would have had a face over here and then we perform the inset operation, then we turn these 2 edges into 3 edges. As you can see right now, we got 3 edges here, and we want to do the same thing on the other side. So probably we want to do this simultaneously on both sides. So we're going to inset them with I, and then you take pairs of 2. So we're going to select 2 by 2 and inset them, then select the next set of pairs and you're going to inset them as well. Now, if we select this outer edge segment, you can see we got 30 edges, which is a lot better because now we just have to double them and then we're going to be able to connect it to these edges on the outside. Now, most likely you want to do a little bit of work to organize this a little bit better, to make things flow a little bit better. So for example, we might want to take these edge segments over here and scale them down with individual origins. You might also want to take some of these vertices from the corners like this, and using your 3D cursor as the pivot point, you're going to want to scale them up a little bit. Maybe we want to slide this outwards just a little bit to get some better consistency in the edge length. And I think I also want to take these pairs on the inside here and I'm going to scale them downwards a little bit with individual origins. That's going to make these edges on the inside shorter, which should allow me to use my loop tool space to make these edges a little bit longer. The plan here is to make all these edges on the outside roughly the same length, just so everything looks a little bit cleaner once we connect it. Well, it looks pretty shitty right now. We can clean it up later. We're going to extrude this from the middle one more time. As you can see, this looks pretty shitty and jagged at the moment. But to be completely honest with you, that doesn't really matter too much as long as we have all quads. We're going to be fine. And now all we have to do is the same thing one more time. So we're going to select this in pairs of 2. So let's select 2 here, another 2, another 2. Better yet, we can select the whole face segment, go up here to select, check your deselect. You set the deselected value to 2 and the selected value to 2, and you fuck around with the offset until you get pairs of 2. I guess Blender is retarded, so he can't really figure out the right way to do it no matter what we set the offset to. So I guess we'll just have to do it manually. So let's manually select pairs of 2 with our brush select tool with C. And once we do that, we inset with I again, then we select the other pairs. This time we also want to get an extra face segment over here, so this is no good. We're gonna have to slide this edge inwards and then use a 3D cursor to create another vertex over here and fill that with a new quad. Do the same thing over here on the other side. And what do you know, when we select this, now we have 60 edges, which means we should be able to connect them to this edge segment on the outside pretty easily. We just have to make sure that we can connect everything to this edge first. So place the cursor here, snap this one there. Give me a couple more loop cuts over here so I have some geometry to which I can connect the vertices from the inside here. So 1 loop cut, 2 loop cuts. Matter of fact, I want to have 3 loop cuts so I can snap this vertex to this one over here, and this one over here. And conveniently enough, that also gives me extra space so I can slide these outwards, make them a little bit longer. I can take this outwards. It's going to be a lot of manual work to clean this up a little bit. We probably could have done that a little bit better. We're going to slide all of these vertices outwards a little bit just to get a better shape. Move this to the side. We're going to scale the whole thing up just a little bit. I'm just trying to make an F effort to organize my vertices a little bit better. So if we place the cursor into the middle of the object, we can scale these up a little bit as well. Let's leave that shit be for now because I don't want to waste time with that right now. We're going to do a little time lapse later on. I think it might be wise to mark a seam right here and over here and over here. So Control E, mark seam, but we also need to mark a seam exactly on the same point on the outside here. So let's extrude a vertex so we know where that is. It's going to be right here, and we want to delete everything except this 1/8 of the plate. So invert the selection, delete all the faces. You're going to duplicate this object, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then scale it to -1 on the Y. Invert the normals, join these two back into the same object, merge your vertices by distance, and now these are symmetrical. So now we should be able to just select this edge on the outside, spam F until we fill the whole thing in. And if you want to maintain some better geometric consistency, you probably want to add a couple loop cuts here. Select everything in top view, Alt E, spin, use duplicate. Steps 4, you're going to delete the extra instance, merge your vertices by distance, take this shape over here and extrude it down. Then you want to take this part on the inside, you want to extrude that inwards like this and extrude it down to the same level where we extruded the edge segment on the outside. So we can select the 2 circles, W bridge edge loops in edge select mode. And it looks like we have to do the same thing one more time at the bottom to connect the outer circle to the inner one. So let's do that super quickly. We're going to take this one, extrude it inwards. Think it'll be easier if I hide this so I can just go to top view. I'm going to select the circle, select checker, deselect with the same settings I told you about before. And in top view, we're going to scale this up a little bit. Now we can take one of these, fill it with F, add a loop cut so we can add 2 quads here. Give me a loop cut, pull it all the way out, then scale it down so it's a little bit closer. And then we'll scale these up from the middle, scale these up from the middle a little bit as well. And we have a set of 4 edges, so we're going to mark seams there. Select everything else and delete. Select these faces, Alt E, spin, use duplicates. Number of steps is going to be 64 because we need 256 vertices out here. 4 times 64 equals 256. And now we reduce this from 256 to 128. So we just have to do the exact same thing one more time. So once again, select, checker, deselect. You're going to scale the selected vertices up, fill this here with a new edge, add a loop cut, scale this down, fill with 2 new quads. And well, same thing one more time. Select everything except this piece here, delete faces. Give me this object right here, Alt E, spin. This time we want to use 32 steps. And there you go. Now we have 64 edges on the inside. So we can take this circle, bridge edge loops, and look how beautiful that looks. It looks almost psychedelic. So we can unhide everything else. We can bring this back up to the top. So we're going to extrude these 2 circles down. We're going to make sure they're on the same level. Place the 3D cursor exactly onto those circles. Scale this up to 0 on the Z. Merge your vertices by distance. And now this is connected and everything is looking pretty good. So now before we do some final cleanup, let's try adding a subdivision surface modifier, and let's talk about which edges we want to sharpen, because when you add a subdivision surface modifier, everything's molten, and we want to take these edges here. We want to go over the edge like this. Select everything all the way around the entire circle manually. Then once we select everything like that, we want to select the top and the inner part here as well. Then we also want to take this edge here, and the same thing on all the other bars as well. And finally, we want to do the same thing on the outside. So we want to select all these edges which we need to sharpen. And once you select them, you're going to press Control B to bevel, scroll up to add 2 segments, set the profile shape to 1. And there you go. Now you got some supporting geometry. So when you add the subdivision surface modifier, that is going to be tighter. Of course, you probably want to do the same thing on the outside here as well. And there you go. There's our wake plate. Now here's a little time lapse of how I'm going to clean up the geometry on the inside. It looks pretty shitty. We don't really have to do this because we already got quads only. Everything looks nice and smooth under the influence of a subdivision surface modifier. We don't have any shading artifacts. This is just something I'm doing out of principle so that when you look at this mesh, I don't look like a fucking asshole. I'm going to look like I actually made the effort to organize my mesh and make it look a little bit more consistent, to make the flow look a little bit nicer. There's not really much to say here. I'm just manually moving vertices around, sliding them around until I can make everything look a little bit more consistent. So there's that. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you want to learn a bunch of other Blender tips, go check out my Blender Masterclass course down in the description, where I basically explain every single tool and technique which I ever learned in Blender over the last 13 years that I've been using this damn program. Make sure you join our Discord server if you want to ask a question. Maybe I'll do a video about that. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.